What's going on, everybody? So, been a minute since I've been able to put anything together since I've been just super busy with work lately. Down here in Tampa, Florida, slinging some solar. But I did want to catch up on a couple of things. The first of which being the Trump tariffs got struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court. So I'm going to get into the details of that. Before we do, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, click the bell as well. All of those things take you less than 2 seconds. It's totally free and it means the world to me. Okay, so Supreme Court the other day ruled 6-3 against Trump's illegal tariffs. This was always like in a country that made sense, this was always going to get struck down because Trump doesn't have the power to issue tariffs or declare tariffs on other countries. That rests with Congress because in the Constitution it says that Congress has the power to levy taxes and tariffs are a tax. So him doing this in the first place was literally, it was just like an unprecedented power grab to say that we have to do tariffs because, you know, we have this trade deficit with all of these other countries. And he used this extremely flimsy legal argument under the International Economic Powers Act, I think is what it's called, to say that it's a national emergency to declare tariffs because we import more than we export. Now, as an aside, we're a rich country. We've pretty much always imported more than we export. That's been the case for decades and decades. And it's like there are certain things we have to import. Like there are things that we cannot actually get in this country. Like we don't grow coffee in the United States, unless you're talking about Hawaii. But Hawaii is basically another country because it's an island out in the middle of the Pacific. We don't grow vanilla in this country. Like there's all kinds of stuff that we have outsourced to other countries because it's just cheaper to make there, like all of our clothes and shoes and things like that, cell phones. And a lot of these countries either can't afford or don't have a need for any of the stuff that the United States makes, which makes a trade deficit. And also, as an aside, this is super funny, ironically enough, our trade deficit was actually at its highest last year after Trump imposed sweeping tariffs on basically every country on earth. But like I said, he's mad because he just can't take an L. So he decided to take to Truth Social to post this in response to the Supreme Court ruling out his tariffs. Based on a thorough, detailed, and complete review of the ridiculous, poorly written, and extraordinarily anti-American decision on tariffs issued yesterday, after many months of contemplation by the United States Supreme Court, please let this statement serve to represent that I, as the President of the United States of America, will be, effective immediately, raising the 10% worldwide tariff on countries, many of which have been ripping off the U.S. for decades, without retribution until I came along, to fully allowed and legally tested 15% level. Jesus Christ, does he not know what a run-on sentence is? During the next short number of months, the Trump administration will determine and issue the new legally permissible tariffs, which will continue our extraordinarily successful process of making America great again, greater than ever before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Okay, so his response to the Supreme Court telling him, yeah, you can't do that. It's illegal under the U.S. Constitution. His response is, I'm going to continue to do illegal tariffs anyway and try and find some other legal justification to do tariffs. He just cannot take an L, for one thing. But I cannot, for the life of me, fathom why he thinks this is a good idea. Like, they've already done an autopsy on what the effects of the tariffs were. And it's like the companies are paying a small percentage of the tariffs to try and mitigate the price hikes on consumers, but more than 50% of the tariff cost is being paid by the consumer. And in every election, and this is an election year, in every election, the most or one of the most important issues to voters is the economy. And everybody, like they've already done this. Everybody understands that tariffs made everything more expensive. And he ran on affordability. He ran on, the Biden administration made everything way more expensive. The price of eggs has gone through the roof. And it's like, I think the price of eggs is down a little bit. I think the price of gas is down a little bit. But the price of literally everything else is through the roof. And his response during an election year after the Supreme Court said, you can't do tariffs like that, this is not within your powers as the president of the United States. His response is, I'm going to continue to do tariffs because me and like I for the life of me cannot understand why he thinks it's a good idea. But like I said, it's funny because he can't take an L, and in a normal country, this was obviously going to get struck down. I'm actually sort of surprised that the Supreme Court did not hand him this win, because they've literally handed him everything on a silver platter. But among the defections were actually two Trump-appointed judges or justices. I think it was Gorsuch and Barrett that defected, along with Roberts, I want to say. I can't remember exactly, but it was 6-3 against Trump. And yeah, I mean, like, I just, it baffles me that, like, this is the thing, this is the hill that he's going to die on, or one of the hills that he wants to die on. Because, again, it's an election year. Everybody understands that tariffs make things more expensive. He claims that the U.S. is taking in trillions of dollars from the tariffs and it's making us all richer. It isn't. It isn't trillions. It's not making anybody richer. Everybody is paying effectively, like, I can't remember what the number is on average, but like the U.S. consumer is paying something like $1,200 more this year than they did pre-tariffs last year. What is the advantage of doing tariffs? And if the idea is like, oh, it's a negotiation tactic in order to get more things, that also hasn't worked. Like, other countries are like, okay, like, what do we have to do for you to stop doing stupid tariffs so that we don't have to do retaliatory tariffs? But the implications of continuing this is much more than just like, it's going to make everything more expensive. Nobody wants to work with the United States anymore, because they just understand that, like, this idiot is going to try and impose economic tariffs in order to try and strong arm us into doing something. And like, we've literally ruined our relationship with every country around the world that we trade with. And again, like, the tariffs in the first place were massively destructive, not just to like US consumers, but like US farmers. So one of the big stories was that during the first half of the year, the soybean farmers were trying to find buyers for their soybeans because Trump was like, I'm going to do 125% tariff on China. And China was like, okay. And we're not going to buy any American soybeans. And so the soybean farmers are like, we literally have like millions of tons of soybeans that we cannot move, and we don't have a buyer, and we're going out of business because we can't find anybody to buy the soybeans. And then at the exact same time, Trump was trying to bail out Argentina because their economy is failing, because they're also run by a very Trumpian dictatorial moron, Javier Milei. And so they gave Argentina a $40 billion bailout on top of screwing over American soybean farmers. And guess who bought Argentinian soybeans? Or guess where China went for their soybeans, since they weren't buying it from the United States? They went to Argentina. So it's like a double whammy. It's a double like FU to the farmers. And Trump just cannot help but stepping on rakes whenever he does anything. And this is just another example of it. Anyway, guys, if you like the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, it's totally free, means the world to me. Click the bell as well. That way you get notifications whenever I upload another video. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.